Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as we get ready to rock and roll here for the beautiful round number 8 of the inaugural season of the Metalheads Racing League. As these NASCAR truck drivers are going to jump out onto the racetrack, they are ready to rock and roll. They are ready to go to battle here on the evening as they'll get loaded into the sim, each and every single one of them looking for the win here this evening. As we head to Charlotte Motor Speedway, basically the home of motorsports here, as most of these NASCAR crews have their facilities here in North Carolina, here near the Charlotte Motor Speedway. So a bit of a home track feel to it as all these drivers ready to rock and roll from Concord, North Carolina here this evening. As the checkered flag will be displayed here, practice coming to a close. Drivers will get ready to jump out onto the racetrack here for their qualifying efforts. They're going to get 2 laps out onto the speedway here, 2 laps to jump out onto the track to see if they can lay down the best lap times possible here on the night for themselves. And it's going to be a lot of fun. We got a good field of drivers, a lot of fast cats out there on the field ready to rock and roll, ready to go to battle here this evening. We do see the number 16 ride of Nick Gardner jumping out onto the racetrack. So Gardner there in the Napa Auto Parts 16 ride rolls out onto the speedway. We see Kevin Zabulit. I'm probably going to get that completely wrong. Kevin in the 17 ride, jumping out onto the speedway as well in the Goodyear number 17 machine. We see Haas Beverly. Haas is the boss here this evening as the 22 ride with a little bit of damage. Going to try to reset that ride is the Drive Ultra number 12 ride, the Doritos machine, looking fresh out there on the speedway. That's Michael Newman. Newman looking very fresh out there on the track. Dennis Steele out there as well in the Monster Energy number 9 ride. A very spooky Halloween vibe to that number 9 machine, but looking fresh out there on the speedway. Mark Beverly out there as well. The Asphalt Outlaws Racing number 55 ride jumps out onto the speedway, and Daniel Dow out there as well as Dow in the number 2 machine jumps onto the racetrack. We see a lot of good drivers as the J.C. Newman Cigar Company number 54, David Traylor Jr. rolls out onto the racetrack. The 54 ride looking fresh here on the evening. Jesse Galloway, the number 4 ride out here as well. The Racers Resources number 4 machine out there onto the track, currently in the 6th position here on the time charts as John Salino jumping out there as well. The beautiful looking number 33 ride out on the racetrack. Man, that is a pretty slick looking ride for that 33 out there on the track. We see Matt Hayden out there as well. Is Hayden looking for a good run in the U.S. Navy? I do believe that is Matt Verstappen actually out there on the racetrack. Matt Verstappen jumping out onto the track here as Clint would be out there as well. James Cotrone, hopefully I'm saying that right. Probably getting it completely wrong, James. I do apologize if I get these names wrong. Is Nate Cogdale out there onto the racetrack. Rusty Modesty out there as well in the number 6. See Brett Summers, the Boston Web Marketing 7 ride out there onto the speedway as we get a lot of drivers here, almost 30 trucks on the racetrack here, getting their lap times in right now. Matthew Katina with one of the quick times, but not the quick time. Mark Beverly with the quick time here in qualifying. Currently the fastest truck out there on the speedway, the 18 ride, the 318 of Matthew Katina is our second fastest. Kevin Bulden. I'm probably getting this completely wrong. Kevin Z there in the 17 currently. 3rd quickest. Matt Hayden up into 4th. Kevin Winker Nation up inside the top 5. Now as the Muleburger Custom Homes ride jumps into that 5th position. Isaac Smallwood, Keith Prince, Michael Newman, Clint Woodby, and David Traylor are top 10 right now in qualifying. As qualifying going to come to a close, we'll get ready to set these drivers loose here for our main feature event in just a few more moments as Nate Cogdale jumping up inside the top 5. Cogdale with a great lap time in the Sonic Graphic Designs Double Zero ride as he jumps up and inside the top 5 here on the speed charts. A big run for him. The 196 of Caleb Clinard out there, as well as Clinard in the number 196 run, looking for a big run here this evening. Currently 20th fastest on the Speedway is Bill Hall's out there as well. Hall's out there in the number 53, rolling on the Speedway. Jacob Ellison out there on the track as well as the 91 ride, looking to move forward and maybe jump up and take this top spot away from Mark Beverly as the quickest truck here in qualifying. Caleb Clinard able to jump up into position number 4 here on the Speedway in that 196 machine. So a big run for the Sonic Graphic Designs at number 196 ride. Up inside the top 5 now, knocking Nate Cogdale outside the top 5 here on the speed charts, as each and every one of these drivers getting ready to rock and roll. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you guys know what to do. Hit that like button for us, hit that share, hit that follow, hit that subscribe button as we get ready to go to battle here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Qualifying coming to a close here. The checker flag going to be out here, as Kevin Winker says, gonna be a long race, 150 laps tonight. Jens Sturski gonna be a bit of a long one, a bit of a great race though. 150 laps of door-to-door action for these NASCAR truck rides is going to make for a ton of fun. We're gonna have a good show here on the night as these drivers are gonna duke it out, battle it up, elbows up out there on the speedway as they're going to get loaded into the sim down on the front straightaway. We'll get ready for our starting order. Woo! Chat! Oh, this is going to be fun. This is going to be fun. We actually were planning on being off this evening, and our boy Nate Cogdale, they needed somebody to hop in here and broadcast this race for them. A little bit less notice, but we were able to hop in here and make it happen for them, and super proud, super happy to be able to jump up here into the booth for the Metalheads Racing League and bring them all of the action and excitement that they're hoping for on the evening, and hopefully we can put on a wonderful, wonderful show for each and every single one of the fans in the stands and all these drivers here in attendance as well. We will get them ready to rock and roll. You guys know what to do. Hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button. And starting on the pole in the number 55, it's the Asheville Outlaws ride of Mark Beverly. His outside in the Majula Say Speed Shop, and number 318, it's Matthew Katina. Starting in position number 3, it is Kevin Zabuldi. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Probably getting it completely wrong. Kevin Z starting in position number 3 as Caleb Clinard in the 196 ride. We'll start there in position number 4. Matt Hayden there in the 5th spot in that 5 ride. We'll have the 00, the Sonic Graphic Designs ride of Nate Cogdale to his outside. Kevin Winker, the Muleburger Custom Homes number 42, will start in 7th. You'll have the 10 ride, the Micro Center number 10 machine will start there in position number 8. Bringing up the inside, our row number 5. In the 3 ride, it's the T4R machine. That is the 3 of Keith Prince into his outside. In the number 12 ride, it's Michael Newman. Starting in the 11th position, we see the 92, the DDG7 machine. That is Clinton Woodby. Into his outside, it is the 54 of David Traylor Jr. Brett Summers, Bill Halls, Michael Madden in the Sparkle and Shine number 15 ride there in the 15th position as Colton Hardy, Daniel Dow, John Celino, Rusty Modesty, Dennis Steele, Nick Gardner, Ashley Ellison Jr., James Controne there in the 22nd position. We see Haas Beverly there in 23rd. Jesse O'Calloway in position number 24 with Jacob Ellison, Skylar Berry, Jimmy Fritz Maurice bringing up the rear of the field in the 27, as unfortunately for the 17 ride of Kevin Zabuldi, he is going to be starting at the back of the pack and down pit side as he missed the start of this feature event. So supposed to start up inside the top 5 for the 17 ride. Now is going to find himself down pit side, having to restart from the bottom side of pit road, and that is going to be a tough break for him, and that is going to be a tough one to recover. Hopefully he can get back out onto the racetrack quickly and stay alive and not go a lap down here, as we see the pace truck make the hard left-hand turn. We're going to end all the anticipation with our feature presentation as we are quickly green flag racing here from the beautiful Charlotte Motor Speedway. It is the Metalheads Racing League round number 8 of their inaugural season, and it's Mark Beverly who leads us down through corner number 1 and 2, looking to clear the 318 down the back straightaway. So Beverly leads us down into quarter number 3 with Matthew Katina, Matt Hayden, and Caleb Clinner trying to run him down as, oh, hang on to it. The Blue Angels number 5 ride goes for a wild ride right there through 3 and 4. Somehow or another, he was able to save it, keep that truck pointed in the right direction as Mark Beverly leads lap number 1 of 150 here on the evening. Matthew Katina right there behind him in position number 2 as Caleb Clinner back there in 3rd. Kevin Winker, Nate Cogdale now our top 5 here on the Speedway's Isaac Smallwood. Michael Newman, Keith Prince in the 3 ride slow on the bottom side of the Speedway here. I'm not sure what's gone wrong with that 3 machine as Keith Prince falling like a rock, unfortunately. Now all the way back into about the 25th position as the 22 ride of Haas Beverly is going to roll around that 3 machine, and the T4R ride goes from up inside the top 10 to now outside our top 25 here on the Speedway. He's got Jimmy Fitzmarie trying to hunt him down. We do see Kevin Zamboodle. Hopefully I'm saying that right. I'm probably getting it completely wrong. I'm going to murder her here all evening long. So we're going to call Kevin Zab. Zab there in position number 27 in that 17 ride. Was supposed to start up inside the top 5. Unfortunately, missed the start of this race, but it was able to get out onto the racetrack quickly enough to run right here with these drivers and not really fall too far behind. Already moving around. Jacob Ellison is here at the back of the pack, is out in front. Mark Beverly continuing to lead the way, continue to show these drivers how to get it done. But that Majula State Speed Shop, Team CFM Esports, number 318 of Matthew Katina right there on his back bumper, not letting him run away with it as the beautiful number 196, the Sonic Graphic Designs ride there in position number 3. The Muleburger Custom Homes number 42 of Kevin Winker there in 4th. Nate Cogdale, the Sonic Graphic Designs man himself, the 00, rolls there inside the top 5 now as he's worked up into that 5th position. He's got Isaac Smallwood right there behind him in that 10 ride. Running pretty good, pretty smooth out there on the Speedway. He's got that 5 of Matt Hayden, Michael Newman, David Traylor back there behind him, and a newcomer inside the top 10 is this 15 ride, the Sparkle and Shine Anything EC machine of Michael Madden. Is Madden gonna work himself underneath the 54 of David Traylor for position number 9 on the Speedway. His teammate Dale Down trying to go with him. Here is the 2 machine looking to jump up inside the top 10 here himself. He will clear that 54 ride. Put Dale Down now inside the top 10 here on the Speedway. Brett Summers right there as well, trying to move on forward as David Traylor unfortunately starting to slide back here a little bit in that 54 ride. Rusty Modesty there as well in the 6 ride. Rusty working himself up through the field, up 6 positions already for that 6 ride. Clinton would be back there in position number 14 with Colton Hardy, Nick Gardner, Ashley Ellison Jr., Bill Hales, John Salino, and Jesse Calloway are top 20 here on the Speedway. Dennis Steele, James Controne, hopefully I'm saying this right, Controne there in position number 22, Kevin Zab there in 23rd, Skylar Berry back there in the 24th position, a beautiful Ghost Energy Sonic Graphic Designs number 68 ride out there on the Speedway. Very fresh looking paint scheme there for that Ghost Energy machine, the Ghost energy drink ride as Keith Prince is able to work himself around that 68 ride. Prince back up into the 24th position, trying to rebound after his mistake early in this race as the number 88 rolls there in the 26th position. That is Jimmy Fritz Maurice and Haas Beverly. Jacob Ellison rounding out our field. Is out in front, Matthew Katina able to jump up, take this race lead away. So Katina now to the point as Mark Beverly slides back to position number 2 here on the Speedway. So the Asphalt Outlaws Racing ride slides back to second as the Majula Say Speed Shop Chevrolet of Matthew Katina is able to jump up and take this race lead away from him. And this is our first lead change of the evening. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you guys are enjoying the racing action, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button as we are seeing some absolutely amazing racing action here this evening. These guys are putting on one heck of a show here for us here on the night as Ty Dickinson, Sweet Tea himself, Ty Dickinson coming in showing the love with the heart reaction on the broadcast. Kevin Winker coming in with that like as well as in front, Matthew Katina holding down the fort is Mark Beverly there in position number 2. Caleb Clinner there in third is Nate Cogdale now up into position number 4. Matt Hayden, Matt Verstrappen back up inside the top 5 here for the U.S. Navy. Blue Angels Toyota as he's worked himself here into that 5th spot after making that early mistake. He's up inside the top 3. Unfortunately got very loose down through 3 and 4 and slid all the way back to about the 8th position on the racetrack, but battling back very nicely here for the 5 ride as he rolls here in that 5th position, just getting around Kevin Winker as Winker slides back to that 6th position. Michael Newman, Michael Madden, Brett Summers, and Daniel Dow round out our top 10 here on the racetrack. Isaac Smallwood, beautiful looking paint scheme here for the Geico Micro Center number 10 machine out there on the racetrack, looking very, very solid here as the 6th ride of Rusty Modesty slowly but surely working himself up through the field here as well. Rusty now up into the 12th position in that Toyota TRD Tundra. Out there in that 12th spot, trying to work himself a little closer to the front of the field. Nick Gardner right there as well as Gardner, Ashley Ellison, both up 8 spots on the Speedway here from the drop of the green flag. So 2 of our early hard chargers in there on the racetrack. Ellison Jr. there in that 133 machine, and then you see the number 16 as the Napa Auto Parts number 16 of Nick Gardner up in position number 13 here, doing a fantastic job working himself up and through the field as Matthew Katina continuing to lead the way here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. These drivers, they came to play here this evening, running down these laps in a quick hurry. Currently, tires, though, starting to fall off. Drivers' lap time starting to also go with it as we went from a very early 30-second lap times to a little bit of the 29-second lap times between some of our early race leaders here. So going from around the 30.0 area to start this race now into the 31-second bracket. So fall off starting to become a factor here, and we are only 16 laps in this time by the start finish line. Lap number 16 will come to a close. Lap 17 will go up onto the board. So 16 laps into this race, and these tires are starting to fall off already. So this could become a bit of a strategy run here for a lot of these drivers with hopefully minimal caution flags. These yellow flags could really mess up drivers' pit strategies here. They come in early, stay out a little longer. It all depends on when they come down pit road or when these caution flags fly, on where this is really going to hurt them for their pit strategies. I do believe they can make it around 50 laps here on a tank of fuel, so we may only see 1 or 2 pit stops here. Well, probably about 2, maybe 3 pit stops on the evening here, especially if someone decides to try to short pit this. But that's a big risk, a big gamble if that caution flag flies. If you're a lap down because of coming down pit road, to put those fresh tires on, you gotta hope that you can get that wave around and that your tires are still good enough to compete with the other drivers that have the fresh tires through that caution flag here. There's gonna be a lot of different strategy, a lot of different lines, a little bit of everything here this evening for the Metalheads Racing League as these drivers roll out there on the Speedway. It's still Matthew Katina who leads the way. Mark Beverly there in position number 2. And we see that 196 Caleb Clinard there in position. Clinard. I'm not sure how he pronounces it, but Caleb in the 196 rolling there in position number 3 as Mr. Winker starting to put the pressure on here, able to get back around Matt Hayden and Nate Cogdale. Cogdale and Hayden both able to work themselves around the Asphalt Outlaws. Number 42 run as the Muleburger Custom Homes ride was back into the 6th position not too long ago. Able to make some moves and get back around the 00 of Cogdale and that 5 ride of Matt Hayden. Is Michael Newman in this number 12 ride, sitting in the 7th position on the Speedway, having a little bit of pressure to his back bumper as here comes that 15 of Michael Madden. Isaac Smallwood right there as well. Brett Summers rounding out our top 10 is Dale Dow. Rusty Modesty, Clinton Woodby, David Traylor Jr., and Nick Gardner round out our top 15 here on the Speedway. You see that 53 of Bill Hales there in position number 16. Alicia Ellison, James Catrone, Bolton Hardy, Jesse Calloway, Kevin Zab, Skylar Berry, John Salino, Keith Prince, Dennis Steele. Our top 25 out there on the racetrack is Jimmy Fritz, Maurice, Haas Beverly, and Jacob Ellison round out our field here on the evening. 28 trucks jumping out onto the Speedway to start this feature event for a 150 lap feature. And we've been nothing but clean and green here throughout the evening. Mark Beverly, Matthew Katina, 2 drivers that have led laps here on the evening. First, we saw about the first 14 laps being led by Mark Beverly. Matthew Katina was finally able to work around that Ford and put himself to the point here. And ever since then, he's slowly but surely starting to pull away from the rest of the field. That 318 rolls there in position number 1. Has about a 0.7 of a second difference between himself and Mark Beverly. About 7 truck lengths out there on the Speedway between our top 2 contenders on the night. Caleb Klinner there in position number 3, trying to stick right with them here. He's been right there all night long in that 3rd position. Didn't take him long to find this 3rd spot. He's been slowly but surely trying to work and hunt down this 55 ride of Mark Beverly. Has his eye set on that 318 at the front of the field, and then we saw Kevin Winker starting to make some moves towards the front of the field as well, as Winker right there in position number 4 and looking for more. Michael Newman now up inside the top 5 here as this number 12 ride really coming to life as the Ultra number 12 ride working himself to the front of the field as the beautiful Doritos ride right there, slowly but surely working himself inside the top 5. He fell outside the top 10 for a little bit, but battling back here hard and up inside the top 5 now, looking to put some pressure onto the back bumper of Kevin Winker, but he's going to try to hunt down that 42 ride, and there is quite a bit of a gap between Kevin Winker and that number 12 machine of Michael Newman. There you go. You get a great look at it right there. That's quite a bit of gap here. We'll have to wait and see how quickly he can kind of close that difference, see if he can hunt down this 42 ride and potentially more of our top 3 here on the evening. It's out in front, Matthew Katina continuing to pull away here. Over a second now between himself and Mark Beverly. Beverly back there in second, starting to feel that pressure to his back bumper as Caleb Klinner looking to try to make his move around that number 55. Klinner right there on him, not letting him out of his sights, not letting that number 55 ride pull back away from him this time. He is looking to try to use this momentum to work himself around the 55, and as they start to battle, notice the tail, it's slowing them down ever so slightly, allowing our race leader to kind of stretch out his lead a little bit more, and it's also bringing Kevin Winker right into the picture frame here as well, as Winker trying to join this battle up inside the top 5 on the Speedway, looking to see if he can move himself a little bit closer to the front of the field and possibly for the first time this evening trying to put that 42 ride up inside the top 3. It's the 12 of Michael Newman still trying to hunt him down. See Isaac Smallwood back there in 6th. Michael Madden up into 7th here, trying to work himself around the Micro Center number 10 ride, trying to put the Anything EC Sparkle and Shine 15 ride up inside the top 6 here on the Speedway. Nate Cogdale unfortunately sliding back a little bit farther here as the 00 slides back to 8th. Now has Matt Hayden. David Traylor right there behind him is Traylor. Last car inside our top 10 and the JC Newman Cigar Company number 54 ride. Clinton would be in the 92 ride, rolling there in 11th. Then we see Bill Hales in this 53 machine looking fresh and furious out there on the speedway. A little bit of that Castrol Edge looking ride to it. A little bit of the Frank Kizowemski feel to that paint scheme for the 53 ride, looking very fresh and fast though. Out there on the speedways, the Chase Elliott inspired number 16 of Nick Gardner rolls there in the 13th position. Jesse Calloway back there in position number 4 and looking for more here in this one is back in the 14th position in that 4 ride. Roll there in the 14th spot as Ashley Ellison Jr. back there in position number 15 on the speedway, going door to door here with Rusty Modesty back here for that 15th spot. It's the 133 down low, the 6 ride up on the outside lane. A great battle here for position on the racetrack as the 38 of James Catrone trying to hunt them down as well, trying to put his 38 truck into this fight for that 15th spot on the speedway. Nailed down back into the 18th spot. A tough break so far for the Sparkle and Shine Anything EC number 2 ride. Not a huge fan here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, so we'll have to see if he can find a little something, learn a little something from his Ramped Racing teammates, and see if he can try to work himself up towards the front of the field. Oh, excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. Really honest there. My gosh, we worked all day in the hot sun as Colton Hardy. Right there, beautiful looking 97 ride. I love the black and orange, always our favorite colors, especially being a Philadelphia Flyers fan. We love the orange and black. We bleed the orange and black, so always love to see those paint schemes out there on the racetrack. Is this a very, very good looking ride out there on the speedway? Is this the winning bid number 97 ride out there on the speedway? Skylar Berry trying to hunt him down. The 3 ride of Keith Prince still trying to rebound from his early mistake as the 3 machine right now scored in the 21st position. Dennis Steele in the Monster Energy number 9 ride back here in the 22nd spot. Kevin Zubb there in position number 23 here as he battles to the outside of that 9 ride. Gets a good run down the back straightaway, and that'll open up the door for John Salino in that 33 to jump up and try to make that move around Dennis Steele and try to see if he can send Steele a little farther backwards as Brett Summers in the 7 ride. The Boston Web Marketing Machine back in the 25th position has the 88 of Jimmy Fritz Maurice right there behind him. Haas Beverly back there in 27th, and Jacob Ellison, our top 28 here on the speedway. Out in front, Matthew Katina continued to lead the way here out to a 2.1 second lead, almost 2.2 second lead between himself and Mark Beverly. Quite a gap starting to brew here between our top 2, but we do see the first caution flag of the day is going to fly. So our first yellow flag is going to be displayed here on lap number 35. Now I'm not sure if this was a competition caution or not, which it very well could have been. I'm not 100% sure on where this yellow flag may have been displayed from. This will show me any drivers getting turned around or crashing, so I'm assuming this is a competition caution for these drivers to kind of figure out what their rides mean, what they need to do to kind of keep themselves pointing in the right direction, maybe throw an extra set of tires on, trying to play a little bit of that strategy early in this race, as I believe that is going to end this stage, and we will get them ready to head down pit side here during this caution flag. Not exactly what the 318 of Matthew Katina wanted to see, as he was sitting there with a very modest 2+ second lead here over the rest of the field. He was hoping to just continue to drive away and continue to keep himself out in front and away from the rest of his competitors here throughout the evening. We'll have to wait and see if he can try to build that momentum back up, see if he can find that extra gear and try to disappear here once again, as everyone still trying to catch up not only to the iRacing pace truck but also to our race leader out here on the speedways. They're doing a fantastic job out there on the track. We do see some issues here for Daniel down. I'm not sure what may have happened for the 2 ride. Slow on the racetrack. Let's see, maybe it's a little tap from the 17. The 97 gives him a little love tap right there, and to send him up the racetrack and into the outside fence. So a tough break right there for the Sparkle and Shine Anything EC number 2 ride as Neil Dow goes for a bit of a loop-de-loop. As all these drivers are going to head down pit lane, they're all going to make sure that they get some service done to their rides. And it looks like the 68 ride, a Skylar Berry, going to be the first truck off of pit road. Mark Beverly coming out in second. Kevin Winker there in third. Caleb Clinner back in fourth with Michael Newman, Isaac Smallwood, Michael Madden, Matthew Katina all the way back in the 8th position here as David Trailer and Clinton Woodby they're rounding out our top 10 when we go back to green flag racing, but some strategy being called here. The driver's a little deeper in the field, and that's going to put the 68 rider Skylar Berry now at the front of the pack here. The 55 of Mark Beverly will be starting in position number 2. The 42 of Kevin Winker there in third with Caleb Clinard. Michael Newman in the number 10 ride, rounding out our top 5 here on the Speedway. Isaac Smallwood actually is in the 10 ride. Michael Newman is in that 12 machine, and we see the number 15 of Michael Madden, Matthew Katina, David Trailer, and Clinton Woodby. Our top 10 out here on the racetrack as we'll get them stacked up, racked up, and are ready to go back to green flag racing once again here in just a few more moments. But we'll take a quick break. We'll get a word in here from our sponsor over at Tiger Contracting. Woo! Keep it up there for our sponsor, Tiger Contracting. Get a hold of them today for any of your contracting needs as we'll get ready to go back to green flag racing. As these drivers stacked up, racked up, and ready to go. The 55 of Mark Beverly at the front of the field. Kevin Winker to his outside. As we did see the 68 Ryan make another trip down pit side. A tough break for Skylar Berry, but he will be back in the 25th position here. As Mark Beverly with a great restart in that 55 Ryan, looking to try to drive away from the rest of the competition. Is down the back straightaway, looking to put a little bit of a lead between himself and Caleb Clinard. Is Clinard there in position number 2. We see Isaac Smallwood in the 10 ride, putting down some great lap times here. Is that 10 machine hugging the white and blue line down low. He's looking to jump up into position number 2. And how do you do is he's going to take that spot away from Caleb Clinard. Clinard will slide back to position number 3 here on the Speedways. We do see the caution flag coming back out here in this one. The caution flag will be displayed here once again. Now, I'm not 100% sure on where or what may have happened here to bring this caution flag out. You see a couple drivers deeper in the field. Let's see if we can take a look back, and there you go. You see the 6th ride running into some issues here. That is Rusty Modesty, and now we'll see if he had any help here as 6th ride into the corner. Gets into the back end of the Blue Angels U.S. Navy number 5 ride. Let's see if we can get another angle at this one here. Another look, another angle at this. See if there was some contact here between the two of them as well, this is after the contact. There you go. You do see a little bit of contact right here. He's going to get in there. Contact, and then gets hit from behind from the 33, and that's going to send him sideways down the racetrack in the Sinclair Dyno Care number 6 ride, able to keep himself out of trouble, able to keep that car pointed in the right direction, but could have been a whole lot worse in a quick hurry here. He gets into the back end of that 5 ride, just loses a ton of momentum. The 33 not realizing it, unfortunately, gets a piece of him just in the wrong spot at the wrong time, and contact in the wrong spot of that back bumper spins this 6 right down the racetrack. Everyone doing a great job to avoid any contact there with that 6 machine, as that was a scary sight right there for the number 22. Let's see if we can take a look here at Haas Beverly's perspective as he sends it into the corner. He's going to have this number 6 rank park right in front of him here, and he's got to quickly drive down low and just narrowly avoid contact right there. Good piece of driving by all these contenders to stay out of it, stay out of contact, to keep themselves pointed in the right direction as get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to green flag racing once again. Not too many drivers coming down pit side as we'll get ready to go back to battle, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Coming in showing the love here in this one as Chris Pilo coming in, says, dropping my like and my comment. Let's go, Chris coming in, showing the big love. How are you, Mr. Pilo, coming in, showing the love here in this one. Andrew Hainsley with a like on the stream as well. Johnny Thunders coming in, smashing that like as well on the broadcast. And Mr. Pilo, Chris coming in, showing the big glove, says give this guy a like and follow, coming in with that share on the broadcast as well. I appreciate you, my dude, coming in, showing the love over there on Facebook, as we are currently live not only on Facebook but also over on YouTube and Twitch as we continue to grow on every single front here on Peacemaker Gaming. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you haven't already, make sure you guys become part of the Peacemaker family. Smash that gosh heck and subscribe button right now as we get ready to go back to green flag racing. We'll get a quick word in from our other sponsors over at the Winning Bid Diecast. Alrighty, we're going to get ready to go back to green flag racing here from the beautiful Charlotte Motor Speedway here with the Metalheads Racing League. As these drivers get stacked up once again, door to door, out there on the speedway, the lights are turned off. The official iRacing pace truck will get ready to go back to battle here at North Carolina. Concord, North Carolina, that is in. These drivers ready to rock and roll. The 55 ride, electing to choose the outside lane here on the restart. Now we've seen Mark Beverly start down low here a couple times, and the 55 ride seems to get a great launch down the bottom lane. So we'll see that he jumps up and chooses the outside here. We'll see if that works to his benefit, or if the 10 ride can put on a couple good moves and see if Isaac Smallwood can find himself away to the front of the field. Kevin Winker right there on the second row. On the outside is the 196 of Caleb Clinard. They're in position number 4 and looking for more. Then we see Matthew Gattina, Michael Madden, David Trailer, Michael Newman, Nick Gardner, Bill Hales, our top 10 out there on the speedway. Nate Cogdale, Clinton Woodby, Colton Hardy, Matt Hayden, and John Salino, our top 15 here on the racetrack as we have stacked up, racked up, and ready to go back to green flag racing. The lights are off. The official iRacing base truck, he's going to make the hard left-hand turn back down pit side. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you came here for a show. Well, here you go as we go back to green flag racing. It's down through the Geico restart zone. A good jump there for the 55 of Mark Beverly. Let's see if he can carry that momentum. Down into quarter number 1 is Isaac Smallwood looking down to his inside. Smallwood looking to try to take this race lead away from Mark Beverly. Beverly trying to hang on to it, though, as he's getting shoved down the back straightaway from his Asheville Outlaws. teammate number 42 of Kevin Winker's. Winker right there on his back bumper will keep that number 55 in the top spot here as he's able to clear the 10 machine, and Winker going to try to clear him there as well as Smallwood getting very loose down and out of corner number 4. He'll send it back in down on the bottom side here through corner number 1 and 2. Is right there behind him. You see the Sonic graphic designs at number 196 of Caleb Clenard and that 318, one of our early race leaders here on the evening. Matthew Katina right there ready to pounce as the Majula Speed Shop Chevrolet works himself back up inside the top 5. Not a great pit stop for that 318 machine down pit road, and unfortunately that lost him quite a few positions on the racetrack, but he has been battling back ever since the drop of that second green flag game. Right since this latest restart, he has been able to make some good headway, make some good moves, and now puts himself back up inside the top 5. Right there behind him, you see number 15, the Sparkle and Shine Anything EC, number 15 of Michael Madden. As Madden rolls there in the 5th spot. Then we see Caleb Clenard back there in 6th, Nick Gardner up into 7th, David Traylor Jr. there in 8th with Michael Newman, and Colton Hardy, our top 10 here on the Speedway in that 97 ride. Back there in 11th, see the Boston Web Marketing Machine of Brett Summers, and we see Nate Cogdale unfortunately slid back now into the 12th position as John Salino there to his outside. Kevin Zub there in position number 14 is that Zab Loudel. I'm gonna murder it a million times here, Kevin. I swear to God, I'll murder it so many times. That last name, for some reason, I can just not get the correct pronunciation done to it. I'm sure I've been way off all evening long on it. It's Matt Hayden right there with him. Dennis Steele in that fight as well. Bill Hales back there as well in the 17th. Daniel Dow, Clinton Woodby, and Jesse Calloway, our top 20 here on the Speedway. Is out in front. Mark Beverly continues to lead the way here as the Winker Nation ride in tow, sticking right there in position number 2. Matthew Katina now up into 3rd as the Majula Speed Shop Team CFM Esports number 318 trying to hunt them down as he's worked himself back up into 3rd, and he's looking to try to regain this race lead here. He was out in front before that caution flag, and he's looking to have it here once again on the Speedway. Isaac Smallwood sliding back to about that 4th position as Michael Madden trying to reel him in, but Madden's going to have his hands full as well as Nick Gardner and Caleb Clenard right there ready to pounce behind him. As the 15 gets a good run, takes a peek down to the inside of the 10 right of Isaac Smallwood. Smallwood trying to hang on to position number 4, looking to get a push down the bank straightaway from this 196. He gets a little bit of an edge down through corner 3, but out at corner number 4, the 15 ride getting a great run and a great drive there through 3 and 4, and they'll go door to door down across the line. So a great battle right here is Isaac Smallwood, Michael Madden, Caleb Clenard, Nick Gardner, all right there. You can throw a blanket over top of them. You can throw in Michael Newman. David Traylor now trying to poke his nose into the fun, and Colton Hardy rounding out our top 10 here on the Speedway. Each and every one of these drivers doing a fantastic job as they battle door to door out here on the racetrack. A lot of elbows up racing. We've seen some very good movers throughout the field, and a lot of drivers unfortunately sliding backwards here, but one of those drivers moving forward is this 15 ride of Michael Madden, third all the way back in 15th, now up 11 positions and into that 4th spot on the Speedway. Nick Gardner started back in 21st. He's up 15 spots, now finds that Napa Auto Parts number 16 ride chilling there in the 6th position. He's been moving through the field and currently is our hard charger here in the Metalheads iRacing League. As Metalheads iRacing League bringing us on board here for their round of 8 here, their 8th round of the series on the evening, as unfortunately their broadcaster could not make it here tonight. We had some plans, but we decided that we would mix those up a little bit and give us another amazing broadcast here on Labor Day for everyone to enjoy, everyone to have a little extra something to go to bed, to sleep to, or, tune in and cheer on your favorite drivers. As if the drivers show up, we show up, ladies and gentlemen. As out in front, we see a new race leader here in this series is out in front the 42 Kevin Winker to the point here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Mark Beverly has given up that race lead once again as he held it early in this race. Gave it up to that 318 and Matthew Cattina was able to regain it after our first caution flag of the evening, but now giving it up to that 42 of Winker. Winker, though, not able to pull away from him. That number 55 of Mark Beverly sticking right there close to his back bumper within striking distance, but it's all Matthew Cattina as Cattina's been able to track him down and bring that 318 right back up inside the top 5 after a mistake down pit road. Send him back a few spots here, but he's looking to regain them all here on the Speedway as he's working right to the back bumper of that 55 ride of Mark Beverly. Michael Madden now up into position number 4 and looking for more here in that 15 ride is Caleb Leonard back there in position number 5. Nick Gardner there in 6 with Michael Newman, Colton Hardy, Isaac Smallwood, and David Trailer are top 10 here on the Speedway. Kevin Zablowski there in position number 11. I'm still probably getting it wrong, but Zablowski there in position number 11 on the Speedway in that Goodyear number 17 ride as Brett Sommers, the Boston Web Marketing ride, rolls there in 12th. Matt Hayden, the Blue Angels U.S. Navy number 5 right there in 13th, and we see the 4 ride roll in there on the Speedway. That is Jesse Calloway. He's got Daniel down to his outside as the beautiful looking number 2 machine, the Sparkle and Shine Anything EC ride up inside the top 15 here once again on the evening. The DDG7 Sonic Graphic Designs number 92 of Clinton would be there in 16th as John Salino. 53 of Bill Hales, Hoss Beverly, Nate Cogdale rounding out our top 20 here on the racetrack. And then we see Dennis Steele, Rusty Modesty, Skylar Berry, Ashley Ellison, Jimmy Fritz Maurice, Keith Prince rounding out the rear of our field. Here is Jacob Ellison down pit side in the Fleet Pride Truck and Trailer Company. Number 91 run is the South Point ride down pit side and looking to get some work done to his machine as the 38 ride of James Catrone. Hopefully I'm saying that right, James Catrone in the number 38 ride, unfortunately off the Speedway and down pit side here, so a tough break for those drivers having to make unscheduled pit stops and being trapped down pit side a little longer than I'm sure they would love to out there on the Speedway. Is out in front Kevin Winker. The Winker Nation, stand on your feet here on this 42 ride as Winker out in front leading the way here in that Muehlberger Custom Home Sonic Graphic Designs number 42 ride. But here comes Mark Beverly. Beverly in the Asphalt Outlaws Racing number 55 ride, looking to try to take this race lead back away, and so isn't the 318 of Matthew Cattina. Cattina looking to try to put himself back in front of the field here as the Majula St. Speed Shop. Team CFM Esports number 318 ride rolls right there in third. You can throw a blanket over top of our race leaders as 1, 2, and 3 all stacked up right there together. They're about 7/10 in front of the 15 ride of Michael Madden as Madden there in fourth as Caleb Clinner right there behind him as they roll and try to hunt down our race leaders. Nick Gardner there as well, Michael Newman, Colton Hardy, Isaac Smallwood, David Trailer, our top 10 here on the Speedway, but it's Mark Beverly who's looking to try to take this race lead back away. He's going to go door to door with the 42 is down across the line. Kevin Winker will lead another lap here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. So Kevin Winker out in front, but Mark Beverly putting all types of pressure down to his inside here as we'll jump on board this next time by with that 42 ride of Kevin Winker. Giving you guys a great, actually let's jump on board with Matthew Cattina. It's Cattina rolling right here behind these guys. So get a great look at the trucks in front of them and how you navigate around this Speedway. So we'll jump right on board with this number 318 as he's going to send it into corner number 1. He's going to get a piece of the outside fence right there as well. So you see that mistake as soon as we jump on board, just gets up into the inside fence ever so slightly. Scrubs a little bit of speed off for that 318, but He's able to survive, keep that truck pointed in the right direction, and now trying to figure out a way to get back around. The Asphalt Outlaws Racing number 55 of Mark Beverly is Beverly right here in front of him. He's trying everything. Trying some different lines, trying to move that truck around and hoping to see this 42 and the 55 ride possibly fall off as he tries to keep his equipment perfectly good out there on the Speedway. We do see the 91 there roll back out onto the racetrack, so good to see that. It's down the back straightaway once again. Kevin Winker able to clear that 55 of Mark Beverly. Beverly will have to try to mount another challenge, as we did see the 91 of Jacob Ellison roll back out onto the Speedway. So you see Jacob getting back out. There's the Fleet Pride Trucking and Delivery number 91 still out there on the Speedway. That's Keith Prince rolling around him right now, as unfortunately for Prince back in 26, Ellison right there back in the 27th spot, and James Cotrone back there in position number 28, bringing up the rear of the field. And unfortunately for that 38 ride, he is off the Speedways. Out in front, this battle continues to rage on. These drivers continue to battle here at the front of the field, each and every one of them. Right there together is my boy CJ Jeffries coming in with that like on the stream. How are you, CJ? CJ coming in, showing the love here in this one. As out in front, Kevin Winker, Winker Nation, gonna see that caution flag fly for the third time here this evening. Yellow flag on the Speedway. We will take a look back and see what happened, as it looks like some contact deeper in the field, possibly between Rusty Modesty and Jimmy Fritz Maurice back there deeper in the field. Let's see if we can take a look back and see what happened here. These drivers come together, not the way you want things to go here. Let's take a look as 6 right up on the high side, maybe getting pinched off here. Gets a big run here on this number 33 of John Salino. Salino right there with them, and unfortunately, it looks like just gets the outside, and oh man, heavy hit there for the 33. Nowhere to go for the 88 ride, as well as the 9 doing a great job getting checked up right there as the 91 sent it in there. I'm not sure if this was net code, as this was some very odd contact between these two trucks. I'm assuming this was just net code right here, as they're running off each other, not technically touching, and then all of a sudden that 33 just moves off the track and over the nose of the 6 machine. And unfortunately, as the Sinclair Dyno Care number 6 run comes down the racetrack, look at the 88. Almost going airborne there himself, almost going for a wild ride right there. Let's see if we can jump on board here with that 88 machine of Jimmy Fritz Maurice, as he's going to have a good seat in the house here for this one, as the contact up here to his right. This is the 6 ride coming down. He has just nowhere to go. Gets clipped, goes sky high right there, and unfortunately that is a tough break for all those competitors. We see the rest of our competitors jump out and down pit side. We do see Nate Cogdale staying out, though. Did not come down pit road. Ashley Ellison Jr. also not going down pit side. As everyone else down pit road here, looking for a big race off. And it looks like first driver off of pit lane is the 3 rider Keith Prince. Gavin Zablaudel, not sure how he says his name. Gavin Zab in the 17 ride, going to come out in position number 4. A great pit stop there for that 17 ride, as he'll come out in that 4th spot on the Speedway. And this is really going to mix things up towards the front of the field, as Mark Beverly will restart back here in that 5th position. Matthew Katina back there behind him in 6th. Kevin Winker slides back into the 7th spot here for the restart, as Michael Madden, Caleb Clinard, Nick Gardner, our top 10 here on the Speedway. Michael Newman, Isaac Smallwood, Colton Hardy, David Traylor Jr., Jesse Calloway, our top 15 here for this restart, as we'll wait and see. We do see the 00 Cogdale does end up coming back down pit side, so a good stop right there for the 00. Unfortunately not with everybody else, so that will keep him a little farther back here, but Ashley Ellison Jr. not coming down pit side. This is a bit of a surprise for the Fleet Pride Chevrolet, as Like coming down pit road with everyone else could potentially put you on older equipment and can put you behind the 8 ball in a quick hurry. So we'll have to wait and see if Ashley can hang on to this ride and keep herself there at the front of the field. We'll get a quick word in here from our sponsors over at Tiger Contracting and the Winning Bid Diecast as we'll take a quick look here from our sponsors. Alrighty, as we get these drivers stacked up, racked up, and ready to go back to Green Flag Racing. Lap 70 gonna get clicked off the board here in this one as right now currently on that 70th lap here rolling down the speedway door to door as the 133 will get ready for this restart. Is out in front for the first time here this evening is Ashley Allison Jr. at the front of the field. To her inside in the 17 ride, that is Kevin Zablowski there in position number 17. And we see Mark Beverly, Kevin Winker, Matthew Katina, our top 5 here on the Speedway getting ready to go back to battle. As we get a new pair of drivers at the front of the field, we'll have to wait and see if they can hang on to it. Or if Mark Beverly, Kevin Winker can blow their doors off and work themselves back to the front of the field. We'll see how it all plays out as tight down here through the tri-oval into the Geico restart zone. Ashley Allison put the lap pedal down, getting a great launch over the 17 and over Mark Beverly. Beverly trying to go right there with him, trying to work himself down to the inside of the 17. Right, going to get the run that he needed here. Unfortunately, that's really going to hurt Kevin Winker as Winker sliding like a rock here as he was right there behind that 17 right on the restart. Unfortunately, back into position number 6, going to slide back potentially to that 7th spot as here comes the 12 ride of Michael Newman and Nick Gardner right there ready to pounce as well. As Mark Beverly able to work himself around the 133, move Ashley Ellison back though to position number 2 here on the Speedway as a close call right there is tight down into quarter number 1. And that number 318 of Matthew Katina had to be counting his saves right there. Is contact into the outside fence. Oh, baby, heavy contact, heavy damage down the back straightaway. Caution flag back out onto the Speedway. Nate Cogdale collected in this one. Rusty, Modesty, Clinton Woodby all collected here as they roll around the Speedway to the 3 right of Keith Prince just staying out of it, but some pretty good contact for a lot of these other drivers as it started at towards the front of the field here with the 17 ride as he gets up into the outside fence here. Unfortunate break here for Kevin Zabalaudo as he's unfortunately going to get into the wall. Now, I'm not sure. It looks like he might have had a little bit of help here with this one. This is going to be a good look at it right here as 17 gets a little loose coming out of the corner. He starts to slip and slide around here. A big run out of the 16, and fortunately the 16 with the whole hand of Stevens, the 17 was still trying to collect himself, gets up into the outside fence, and then this is just going to kind of be a chain reaction here as he's into the outside fence. Driver's trying to get down the racetrack and to avoid him. I do believe the number 92 ride and the 7, they make some contact here. Actually, the 5 ride hard into the back bumper of that 92 ride. Heavy contact there into the rear end. Sends that 92 down into the inside fence. Haas Beverly down and around him. The 6 ride trying to stay around the 17. Unfortunately, gets a big piece of the 92. And I think somewhere in here, unfortunately for the 00 Nate Cogdale, he looks like he's going to get into it with the looks like the 91 ride of Ellison as they're trying to work themselves around the 6 ride who's spinning there on the speedway, but 3 pretty tore up race trucks there on the evening. So we'll take a look back and see what happened here again to all these competitors. Man, there's not a whole lot of room out there for these guys to go, and unfortunately we see a lot of tore up trucks, a lot of tore up equipment here down the back straightaway. Starts with 17 into the wall, everyone checking up, but unfortunately quickly things happen. And unfortunately for a lot of these drivers, things happen quickly and badly down the back straightaway for them as the crews are going to go to work trying to get these trucks repaired and back out onto the speedway. They're going to have to be pretty quick with this one to try to stay on the lead lap. It's heavy damage there for Kevin Zablodel and for that 6 ride of Rusty Modesty. And Clinton Woodby getting pretty heavy damage there as well. Really nowhere for him to go either in that 92 ride as now John Salino able to work himself around some of those guys as he's down a couple of laps. The 91 ride got some contact in that as well as the Metal Heads at 91. The Fleet Pride machine gonna look to head back down pit side here, and down out of the way is right there. You see that 42 of Kevin Winker. Winker up towards the front of the field here as these drivers just try to keep themselves out of trouble, but does look like Kevin Winker's come down pit side and back out onto the speedway here as he's all the way back in the 12th position right now. He's actually going to jump up into 11th as the J.C. Newman Cigar Company Sweet Victory Apparel number 54 ride going to head down pit road again here, get some extra fuel and some extra work done to the 54 ride, and he's going to roll back out onto the speedway. Here we see Ashley Ellison Jr. down pit side as well. Rusty Modesty still down there. John Salino coming back down pit side. Clinton Woodby still down there, and Jacob Ellison still down pit side, as well as James Catrone, unfortunately off the speedway in the 38 ride. Is a lot of tore up equipment, a lot of tore up race cars. Good to see Nate Cogdale still rolling out there in that 00 as the Sonic Graphic Designs ride rolls back out onto the speedway. He's going to look to try to rebound and try to work himself back towards the front of the field. Is at the front of the field. Sitting at the front here was our pole sitter, the number 55 of Mark Beverly. He's led a lot of laps here this evening, but he's given it up a couple times out there on the track. Seems like he's got some pretty good short run speed, but the truck potentially may fade away a little bit later in the run as Matthew Katina, who's able to lead some laps early in this race. The Petula State Speed Shop ride rolls there in position number 2 in the 318 as the 196 of Caleb Clinner right there behind him in the Sonic Graphic Designs number 196 ride. Michael Madden, the Sparkle and Shine Anything EC number 15 rolls there in 4th with Michael Newman, Nick Gardner, Jesse Calloway, Skylar Barry, Dennis Steele, and Kevin Winker. Now our top 10 here for the restart as we'll get them stacked up, racked up door to door. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you came here for a show. Well, here you go. If you haven't already, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button as we'll get ready to go back to Green Flag Racing here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Door to door here is down across the line. We will see 77 go up onto the board as we are just over halfway in and halfway to go here in this feature event. As Alan Rogers coming in, dropping that follow over on the Twitch channel. Alan, welcome to the Peacemaker family. Nelson Johns coming in as well, showing the love with the like and the what's up over there on the Facebook stream. What's up, Nelson? How are you, brother? How are you doing on this fine Monday evening? Hopefully everyone has been enjoying their Labor Day. Hopefully no one had to work too hard out there. Hopefully everyone was able to enjoy some good family time or something before the end of summer. As Labor Day long weekend here already come and gone after tonight, so crazy how time flies. As right now we'll get ready to go back to Green Flag Racing. Is out in front. The Asheville Outlaws racing number 55 rider Mark Beverly looking to try to keep it that way and keep himself at the front of the field. Was down through the Geico restart zone. We go back to Green Flag Racing here with the amazing Metalheads Racing League. As these drivers duking it out there on the racetrack, we're going to jump into a quick Peacemaker Gaming Crank It Up as we're just over halfway through this race. We're going to crank it up. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, crank up that volume, cheer on your favorite driver, let us know who you want to see up in victory lane here in the next 73 laps of racing action as we crank it up, this time by the start-finish line. ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give up for these drivers as they give us a great look around Charlie Motor Speedway with our crank it up here on the Speedway gaming. Give us a good look at the Speedway. Let's do for our crank it up here on the evening. Boys and girls, with some great racing action. It's my boy Noah coming in, showing the love over there on the YouTube channel. What's good? Designs coming in, says, hi, what's good? What's good, brother? How are ya? How are you? Noah coming in from the love here in this one is in front, continue to lead the way here on the evening. It's that 55 right on Mark Beverly at the front of the field, showing these drivers how to get it done here in this one as he continues to control the pace at the front of the field. Michael Madden right there behind him, though, not letting him run away. Sticking there with him, keeping himself right there within striking distance, and so isn't a lot of our other competitors. Some great tight racing here all evening long. We haven't really seen anyone pull too far away. We saw early in the race, Matthew Katina, our currently third place driver, was able to open up about a 2-second lead. That's the biggest lead advantage we've seen here throughout the evening. Other than that, it's been fairly tight throughout the top 5, top 10 on the Speedway. And we see some great racing right here for position number 3. You can throw a blanket over these 4 drivers. That's the 4-rider Jesse Calloway trying to work himself up into the 3rd spot on the Speedway. He's got the number 16 and Nick Gardner right there behind him. The 196 of Caleb Clinard there to his outside. Then we see the 12 ride of Michael Newman right there ready to strike in position number 7. Skylar Perry out there as well. Skylar Berry in that number 68 ride, rolling there in the 8th position. Then we see Kevin Winker of the Winker Nation, number 42, rolling there in position number 9. And Matt Hayden there in position number 10 here on the Speedway. Justin Bentley says, a great looking broadcast. MNT sure appreciates all the hard work you put into our first season and look forward to season number 2. Listen, my boy Justin, brother, we can't wait to see you guys back in action every Friday night here on Peacemaker Gaming. Put on some amazing NASCAR Cup Series racing for us to all enjoy as we will get these drivers out here on the Speedway. Some of these drivers potentially in contention here for jumping in and doing some laps and racing there with the MNT Cup Series. I do believe, did we see Kevin Winker in there last season? I feel like we saw Kevin Winker. Winker tends to try to bring some of his fellas over into a series as well. So it'll be interesting to see as we do see the 5 ride of Matt Hayden head down pit side. So the U.S. Navy Blue Angels number 5 machine heads down pit road here. Green flag pit stop for that 5 ride. We also saw Dennis Steele in the 9 machine come down pit side as well. So possibly some early pit stop for some of these drivers as the battle at the front of the field starting to heat up. Here comes that 15 of Michael Madden. Madden looking to make some moves, looking to see if he can put himself to the front of the field as the 55 of Mark Beverly trying to hold him off. Madden, though, working to his outside lane, looking very, very strong. Can Michael Madden jump up and take this race lead away from Mark Beverly as the Asheville Outlaws number 55 right? He's going to hit the apron. He's going to come down pit side. So here comes our race leader, Mark Beverly, making the pit stop here. Early pit stop for the 55 right as well. Could be very nervous times for a lot of these drivers coming down pit road. Taking that early pit stop could potentially put themselves a lap down here if we see a caution flag. That can put them deep in the field and behind the 8 ball here, making that early stop. So you got to be very cautious on when you come down pit road, how you get down there, as you do not want to make a mistake here on pit road during the green flag conditions. As here you go, Sparkle and Shine, number 15. Oh, Madden came in there a little hot and heavy. Hopefully he got checked up before those yellow cones and down the pit road speed as that number 15 ride is going to give up that race lead. He will come down pit side here himself. Michael Newman going to come with him in that 12 ride as the Drive Ultra Mountain Dew Doritos number 12 ride heads down pit road. Is out in front, Jesse Calloway will consume this race lead as the Racers or Resources number 4 ride will jump to the front of the field. Nick Gardner right there with him in position number 2 as the Metalheads Racing League putting on a great show for us here tonight, as this is round number 8 in their inaugural season. Putting on a great show, some great battles for us here all evening long, and these drivers are not backing down from one another as the 16 of Nick Gardner still rolling out there on the Speedway. Jesse Calloway to his outside. Matthew Katina back to position number 3 as Caleb Clinner there in 4th. Skylar Berry back in 5th with Kevin Winker in that 6th position. Isaac Smallwood, Brett Summers, Bill Halls, and Haas Beverly, our top 10 right now on the Speedway is the Asphalt Outlaws, number 22. Haas Beverly rolling now inside the top 10, having a great run for that 22 machine. Jimmy Fitzmaurice back there in 11th, up 17 spots on the Speedway. And we see Nate Cogdale, Ashley Ellison Jr., Colton Hardy, David Trailer Jr., Keith Prince, our top 17 here on the racetrack. And then we see a lot of drivers that have come down pit side. We see Mark Beverly in that 55 ride. He is back out there on the Speedway, got those fresh tires, currently sitting right now in front of Matt Hayden. Is Hayden, I believe, already coming down pit side here himself as well. So those fresh tires going to work here on the Speedway. You can see that speed difference as they roll right to the back bumper of this group in front of them. That is the 133 ride right there. That's Ashley Ellison right in front of these guys. The 97 ride of Colton Hardy, going to let them go by as they roll to the middle. Ooh, things getting a little tight right there. 55 of Mark Beverly was looking to the outside of that 133. She got a little loose, came up the racetrack and almost put the 55 ride, who was our race leader before these green flag pit stops, almost put him up into the outside fence. As we do see more drivers heading down pit side, making their pit stops. We saw Michael Madden come down pit road. He's all the way back in 21st right now. We see other drivers headed down pit side as well, slowly but surely. As out in front, Jesse Calloway and Nick Gardner continue the battle here. Door to door at the front of the field, Calloway and Gardner. They're two drivers that have ran a lot of laps together, two very respectful competitors out there on the Speedway. They both can sparkle and shine at certain times here throughout an evening, and right now they are shining bright here with the Metalheads Racing League. Is right now Nick Garner leading the way as Jesse Calloway trying to battle back to his inside. Thought better of it as he's going to head down pit road here. So he's going to give up position number 2. As look out, a whole head of steam for the 318 ride. Oh man, that may have been a heartbreaker for Matthew Katina. We saw him lead laps early in this race. We saw him stick right there inside the top 3, top 5 here throughout this evening. And that may be a too fast entering pit road penalty for that 318 ride as he came in there with a whole head of steam, had this trunk locked up and sliding, almost got in to that 4 ride. The 4 machine was right there. He almost got into him. Look at the speed that he carries here and closes the gap, and the truck wiggling there and locking up the rear brakes. Unfortunately, already passed the commitment cones there, so not sure where the scoring is, but hopefully no penalties for that number 318 as we do see the caution flag fly. Caution flag on the Speedway here. This could be a big one as Bill Hall's unfortunately going to go around the 53 machine on the high side. Oh, contact down low. Drivers trying to come down pit side. Some of our competitors have already ended up down pit road here, getting collected in this one. The 91 ride right in there as well. We can get a look here at this 91 machine. We can find him here on our scoring. Where is the 91? Still Bill right there, but we don't see this 91, right? Where in the world did he go? Well, we do see Matt Hayden. Let's take a look at the 5 ride. Is Hayden down here through the middle as well? Looks like something right in front of him. The 91 of Jacob Ellison here. Getting checked up. Drivers checking up the head down pit road. Gets into the back end of that 196 and then up the Speedway. Nowhere to go for the 5 ride as Matt Hayden going to drive in there with him as well as the 53 ride as well. And some pretty good damage to 196 on the rear end. Heavy damage on that right-hand side here for the Blue Angels U.S. Navy. Number 5 ride is, man, that's going to be a tough break right there for him as well. Tough break for the 53 ride of Bill Halls as well. Looking to just have a good run. They just got to run out of room there, and fortunately, that's what happens when you're 2, 3 wide, and then all of a sudden drivers try to head down pit side. They kind of run out of room from time to time, and right there, a lot of room closed up in a quick hurry as we'll see more drivers head down pit road. Now we'll have to wait and see where everything lines up here with drivers that were already down pit side. Are they going to get the wave around? Are they going to get a free pass back around the pace truck? How is this all going to shape up, as we do see Nick Gardner back out there on the racetrack, currently being scored as our race leader. Skylar Berry being scored in position number 2 with Isaac Smallwood, Kevin Winker, Nate Cogdale, our top 5 here on the Speedway. So things really getting a little bit more mixed up at the front of the field, as David Traylor will be in 6, Keith Prince, Brett Summers, Mark Beverly, our top 9 here on the racetrack. And then I do believe Colton Hardy, Ashley Ellison Jr., Jesse Calloway, all going to be on the lead lap still. So all those drivers are scored on the lead lap. And now we see Michael Newman, Dennis Steele, Michael Madden, Haas Beverly, Jimmy Fitz, Maurice, Caleb Clenard there in the 196 ride. They are all currently being scored a lap down. Bill Hall's there as well. Matthew Katina actually being scored a couple laps down here for the number 318 machine. So a lot of these drivers looking to get those free passes to get back onto the lead lap. Some drivers looking to get free passes to at least gain a lap back and possibly get another wave around or a lucky dog to try to work themselves back onto the lead lap here. Some interesting times. Drivers running into issues out there on the Speedway. We'll have to wait and see where everyone shapes up before we go back to Green Flag Racing. But we'll get a quick word in here from our sponsors over at the Winning Bid Diecast. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we'll get these drivers stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to Green Flag Racing as 113 laps into the history books here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. We're closing in on our final 36 laps of racing action. We'll get ready to go back to Green Flag Racing as the 16 rider Nick Gardner is our race leader. We saw a slew of drivers get the free pass, work themselves back onto the lead lap here with the wave around in. Fortunately, some drivers still being trapped a lap down here on the speedways. I do believe the 318 of Matthew Katina, one of the first drivers a lap down out there on the racetrack, as the 53 of Bill Halls will be our last driver on the lead lap. It's out in front, the Napa Auto Parts number 16 and Nick Gardner getting ready for this restart. And Skylar Berry there to his outside. Colton Hardy, Isaac Smallwood, Kevin Winker, our top 5 here on the Speedway as we go back to Green Flag Racing. Is down through the Geico restart zone. We are going back to battle here at Charlotte. Great restart right there for that number 16 and Nick Gardner. Gardner will lead us down into corner number 1. He's too wide back there behind him. The 16 looking to roll out of corner number 2 and lead us down the back straightaway, looking to try to open up a little bit of a gap between himself and Colton Hardy. Hardy up into position number 2. Now on the Speedways, the 68 is Skylar Berry trying to hang on here to the inside lane as the Micro Center. Geico number 10 ride of Isaac Smallwood working to the inside of the 00. Nate Cogdale right here inside the top 5, having himself a heck of a run in that Sonic Graphic Design 00. I get a little loose there through 1 and 2. That's going to stack him up a little bit back there behind the 7 ride. Unfortunately there for Brent Summers, slides backwards there after having to get onto the Piners as he thought that 00 ride was surely going to go around, and unfortunately for him, he was able to hang on to it. The 00 stays up in that 6th position, does give up a spot though to the 42 of Kevin Winker as David Traylor now looking to work himself to the inside of Nate Cogdale. The 55 of Mark Beverly was our race leader before the start of our green flag pit stops. Finds himself there in position number 8, kind of stuck here in behind that 00. Nate Cogdale can't really work down low as here comes that 4 of Jesse Calloway. Calloway showing a lot of speed during that last run, and he's looking to have some more fun here, see if he can work himself towards the front of the field. Brent Somers, Keith Prince, our top 11 here on the Speedway. Michael Newman, they're in position number 12 in that 12 run. Michael Madden in the 13th spot, then Ashley Ellison back there in 14th. Haas Beverly in the 22, having a great run for the Asheville Outlaws 22 ride as he's there in the 15th position. Then we see that 196 of Caleb Clinard there in 16th. Bill Halsdack in 17th with Dennis Steele and Jimmy Fritz Maurice rounding out our top 19, still on the lead lap. Unfortunately for Matthew Katina, he has scored a lap down here after unfortunately running into issues down pit side here during that green flag pit stop, and he ends up going a lap down in that 318 ride. He's actually 2 laps down, able to get that wave around and put himself back into this position for the Lucky Dog. He's another caution flag, could get that free pass back onto the lead lap and back into contention here, so he's just hoping to see that yellow flag fly here before the end of this race. The 92 of Clinton would be back there in the 21st position. Unfortunately, quite a few laps down for that 92 ride. And we see Matt Hayden in the 5 off the Speedway. John Salino, the 33, also down pit side. Jacob Ellison down pit side as well. Kevin Zablaudel there in the 25th spot off the Speedway. Daniel Doe in the 2, also off the racetrack. The 6 of Rusty Modesty, also off the Speedway. And James Catrone also off the racetrack as well. So we've had about 6 drivers parked down pit side here on the evening. Still about 22 cars rolling out there on the Speedway. Not going to give up here on the evening as we get a new race leader, and it's the 97 ride of Colton Hardy. Able to jump up and put this number 97 ride to the front of the field. A great run into that Chevrolet as the White Knuckle iRacing ride working himself here at the front of the field as the winning bid. Number 97 at the front of the field here for the Metalheads Racing League. Round 8 here of their inaugural season. These drivers doing a great job. Now, I'm not sure what the history is on the other races as the winning bid diecast sales and card resales. I can't see what the rest of that says there, but anyone in the market for any diecast cars, any cheap cars, you can get them over there at the winning bid. Try to bid on them, get them for a cheap price, a good price, and a reasonable price over there. Check out the winning bid here today as they are one of the main sponsors here of the series, and can't thank them enough here from the Metalheads Racing League for being a part of this series as inaugural season 1 underway here. 8 races now going into the history books after this evening. I'm glad to be a part of it here on Peacemaker Gaming. At least give you guys one of these races, one of these great shows. And right now, it's Colton Hardy who's looking to try to put himself into the history books as the round 8 winner here on the night. But Nick Gardner right there in tow, not going to let him run away with this one. Nate Cogdale, the Sonic Graphic Designs man himself here, rolling there in position number 3, rebounding nicely, but look at the log jam back there behind him. 2, 3 wide back there behind this 00 run as you can throw a blanket over the third to about the, I want to say that's about the 12th place driver? No, about the 11th place driver, Keith Prince. They are all right there within striking distance. And if you're this double zero ride and you take a look out your rear view mirror and you're going to see a slew of drivers of this caliber right there behind you trying to hunt you down. When you look in that mirror, you see Kevin Winker, Skylar Berry, Jesse Calloway, Isaac Smallwood, Brett Sommers, David Traylor, Keith Prince, Mark Beverly, all right there trying to hunt you down as Mark Beverly maybe potentially would try to slide up to the field here, make himself a way back to the front of the pack after leading a lot of laps in this race. The 55 Pro kind of stalling out back here in about the 11th position. Trying to battle up there inside the top 10 for a little bit. Now it's slid in outside the top 10. Park here in that 11th position on the Speedway. We'll see if he can find something later in this one. Maybe wait and see if things kind of cool down here in front of him, as maybe just figured that was a hornet's nest that he did not want to be a part of. Reminders there kind of roll back away from all this craziness that's ensuing here in front of that number 55 ride. But unfortunately, as he does that, if he's doing that, if he's trying to hold back and make sure nothing bad happens here in front of him, he's going to have a lot of time to our race leaders. And if there's no caution flag, he may not be able to make up the ground that he's given up here. 24 more laps left to go for these drivers out there on the speedways. At the front of the pack is Colton Hardy, who continues to lead the way. Nick Gardner, they're in position number 2. The 91 right there is a couple laps down. That is the 91 machine of Jacob Ellison back out onto the racetrack. So good to see Jacob roll back out there. Going to get some more laps, some more practice, and some more seat time here for the 91 ride, which is never a bad thing, as our top 2 have split themselves away from the rest of the field. Colton Hardy, Nick Gardner, 1 and 2 on the racetrack. Colton is up 15 spots, started all the way back in that 16th position. He's up 15 spots now into the top spot here on the Speedway. Nick Gardner started all the way back in 21st and now finds himself here in 2nd on the racetrack here, trying to work himself up another position and trying to put himself into the winner's circle here this evening, as Gardner rolling there in 2nd. Nate Cogdale continuing to hold on to position number 3 here on the evening as Jesse Calloway back there in position number 4 and looking for more. David Traylor Jr. there in 5th. Right there on that right rear quarter panel of that 4 ride, not letting him get any clean air to the side of that truck as he used a little bit of side draft. Gets a great run down the back straightaway, and here comes that J.C. Newman Cigar Company number 54 of David Traylor, as he's now looking to the outside here of Nate Cogdale for position number 3 on the Speedway. Door to door for position number 3 is door to door back there behind him. Unfortunately, not for position as Jesse Calloway scored in that 5th spot, the 92 ride. Provided possibly trying to put himself either on the lead lap here or get that wave around back off the lead lap, as the 92 ride currently scored a lap or 2 behind here. And he's just trying to keep himself up towards the front of the field, showing that he has a very strong truck in that he can contend for a possible top 5 run right now on the Speedway. If he was knocked down laps and he was running in this position, he put himself in a very good spot, as we do see Mark Beverly headed down pit side. Now, I'm not sure if this is a scheduled pit stop or not for this 55 ride, but he is down pit lane. Oh man, this is going to make things very, very interesting, as one of our early race leaders and our pole sitter, Mark Beverly, going to pull into that first pit stall on the Speedway. The crew is going to go to work. They are going to jack him up. They're going to put some fresh tires underneath that 55 ride, as we do see a caution flag. Possibly perfect timing for that 55 ride. If he can try to get back out onto the lead lap here quickly enough, he may be able to stay on the lead lap, but he may end up a lap down, but could potentially get the free pass or get the wave around here for the yellow flag. But we do see that caution flag flying. Now, I'm not sure if Mark Beverly timed that perfectly or not, but he came down pit road and he was getting service as the caution flag was coming out, as it looked like a little bit of contact right there between the 53 and the 91. The 91 getting very squirrely there, trying to keep his truck pointing in the right direction. Unfortunately, hard nose down into the inside fence. He's going to go for a loop-de-loop in the Fleet Pride truck and trailer Number 91, Ryan, going to get that caution flag as he gets rolling back onto the Speedway. The South Point ride definitely pretty busted up out there on the track. Going to need the crew to go to work to try to get that car pointed back in the right direction as Nick Gardner down pit side here. Colton Hardy down as well in the 97 ride as he misses pit stall there just ever so slightly. Went a little too deep. He had to throw that truck into reverse. That may hurt him here as the winning bid diecast sails and card breaks. Number 97, fortunately, that little bit of a slide. Now waiting for some gasoline as out in front. It looks like it's the 00. Nate Cogdale, first off of pit lane. So the 00 and Nate Cogdale, the first driver to exit pit road. He will restart as our race leader, Jesse Calloway, in second. Keith Prince in third. Nick Gardner, Kevin Winker, our top 5 here. Back onto the Speedway. David Traylor Jr., Colton Hardy, Alicia, Ashley Ellison, Isaac Smallwood, Brett Summers, our top 10 rolling back out onto the Speedway. Caleb Clinard there in position number 11. Michael Newman, Skylar Barry, Haas Beverly, Dennis Steele, Bill Halls, our top 17 here on the Speedway. I do believe the 88 ride still on the lead lap as well. He'll be scored in the 18th starting position as I do believe Matthew Katina in this 3:18 ride did get that free pass, got the lucky dog back onto the lead lap, so he got what he was looking for, and that is another chance to try to work himself to the front of the field. Now the only thing is with that free pass, he will start deep in this pack here, and not a lot of time to try to make his way back to the front of the pack, and another driver that's going to run into that same issue here. I do believe Mark Beverly try to get this wave around here as he's in front of our race leaders, looking for this wave around. Same with Michael Madden, Clinton Woodby, all looking to get Wolf back around our pace truck here as they are in front of our race leaders and potentially put themselves back onto the lead lap. Untimely caution there. We thought maybe that was going to work out perfectly for the 55 ride, but unfortunately did not time up right, and that puts him down a lap looking for this free pass, and that will put him deep in the field for this restart as one of our race leaders throughout the evening not having the run he was hoping for late in this race. We'll have to wait and see if he can rebound here in our closing laps as Nate Cogdale will get ready to go back to green flag racing here as Cogdale out in front. He's looking to get rocking and rolling here on the Speedway. We'll have to wait and see if he can try to put himself up into victory lane as we got a little time here. Let's see if we can get Nate possibly up here into the broadcast booth. Hey Nate, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. You get a cup?
I got you, Aaron.
Nate, brother, a good run, a good race here for you. A little bit of back and forth, a little bit of pitch strategy and tire strategy out there on the Speedway. And you find yourself in front of the field here late in this one. You know, what's going through your mind knowing that you got an opportunity here to maybe pick up the checkered flag?
What's going through my mind right now is I'm hoping that I can make it to the end. Ran out of tires, so I wasn't able to take any on this stop, so I'm pretty much a sitting duck right here.
Ooh, yeah, it's going to be a little bit tough, but I feel like there's a lot of drivers possibly in the same boat as you, and could make for some very interesting racing late in this one. But I see the lights are off the official iRacing pace truck. I'll drag you back down there with your teammates. Good luck out there, have fun, and hopefully we'll see you back up here in the broadcast booth by the end of the night.
All right, appreciate it, buddy.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, give it up there for Nate Cogdale as we jump on board there with him, getting ready to rock and roll. What's up, B says Smith, all X3, Z Myth, 1, all. What's up, Beast? What's up? What's up, brother? Coming in showing the love. I don't know if there's a way to actually pronounce that or not all in one word, but we're doing very good. We are just doing some great racing here on the evening as these drivers ready to go back to battle. A late race restart. We will see lap number 15 as a 15-lap shootout to the checkered flag here on the evening for the Metal Heads Racing League. here this evening, as it's a Labor Day Classic now, as these drivers ready to rock and roll as down through the Geico restart zone. We will see Nate Cogdale, the Sonic Graphic Designs 00, put the hammer down as he gets a great launch, leads us down the front straightaway into corner number 1, looking to open up a little bit of a lead as the driver's back here behind him. You heard him there during our in-race interview. He didn't have any tires left. Jumped down pit side, got some fuel into this truck, was able to beat everyone off pit lane, but no fresh tires, and there could be a lot of them back here behind him. And as he said, he may be a sitting duck, but right now this is a duck that's swimming and looking to try to pick up the win. It's contact! Around goes the 4 ride. Jesse Calloway hard into the outside fence, down across the start finish line. The caution flag will be displayed here once again. Yellow flag back out onto the track here at Charlotte Motor Speedway is a little bit squirrely down and out of corner number 4 for the 4 ride. We saw the 42 right there in that as well. Let's see if there was any contact or help as the 4 machine here. Looks like maybe the 54 on his back bumper, but looks like he's already a little sideways here, and maybe a little Necco just shoving the nose of that 4 car down the racetrack. He tries to correct it, tail takes the 42. That's Kevin Winker going down through the infield and nowhere to go here for the 97 at Colton Hardy. As Hardy goes down through the infield as well. Everyone trying to get around him here. Unfortunately for Barry, nowhere to go in the 68 ride. Looks like the 22 of Haas Beverly into the outside fence. The 88 ride into the outside fence as well. That's a tough break for Jimmy Fritz Maurice, and tough break here for Jesse Calloway, as that's a couple hard hits here for this 4 machine, and definitely not the way he wanted things to go here in these closing laps, as we'll jump right on board with this 4 ride as get loose and unfortunately contact a couple times, and then a couple heavy hits here, heavy contact, and pointed in the wrong direction. Never a sight you want to see as a NASCAR driver pointed in the wrong direction here, and never a sight you want to see when you get contact with some of your other fellow competitors out there on the speedway. And unfortunately for Kevin Winker, he goes for a skid here as well. Really nowhere to go. Kind of just rolling down low underneath him, looking for a big run, and then here's that contact, skids right across the speedway. So does the 97 ride. 97 with a full force of speed, though, did not slow down one little bit as he went more through the grass compared to Winker, who slid down through the pavement there, which would be the Charlotte Roval track here, as 4 ride taking a couple cars with him, and look at that 97 just skidding through the grass and then right down pit side, and gonna keep on rolling. So, we'll get them stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to green flag racing here once again, as Jesse Calloway's got that car down pit side. The 97 ride does as well, getting some repairs done to his machine, as we'll get them stacked up, racked up, and ready to go. Possibly best case scenario here for the 00 ride of Nate Cogdale. Kind of cooling off all the other tires out there, kind of maybe starting to build a little pressure in them and kind of balancing out some of those newer tires back there behind him here. So that could be best case scenario for the 00 ride. And then at the same point, you can get another restart like he just had, where he was able to open up quite a bit of a lead, have all these drivers back there behind him, not let them get to the inside or outside of him here on that 1 lap. Then maybe if this caution flag keeps on extending, or we see another one, he may have another opportunity and trying to keep that Sonic Graphic Designs 00 ride at the front of the field. But it's going to be a little bit tougher now, as the 16 ride right there on his back bumper. His tower operator coming in showing the love, says hashtag Winker Nation. Hashtag Winker Nation here on the evening, as Kevin Winker unfortunately gonna get tied up in that one. A tough break right there for Mr. Winker, as he goes for a bit of a wild ride down through the infield, but nonetheless we'll get him stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to green flag racing here just in a few more moments, as we'll get a quick word in from our sponsors over at The Winning Bid. Alrighty, as we get them stacked up, racked up, and ready to go. A 10-lap shootout now here in the Metalheads Racing League. It's these NASCAR truck drivers ready to rock and roll. Nate Cogdale out in front. The Sonic Graphic Designs 00 ride getting ready to see the green flag fly here once again. The pace truck down pit road as they head down to the Geico restart zone. We will go back to green flag racing here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. The 00, another great restart. Quickly putting the hammer down in this 00. He's going to lead us down into corner number 1. Nice and easy down and through the first corner and out of corner number 2 down the back straightaway, hoping to open up a little bit of a lead here, hoping that the tires back there behind him have fallen off. Hopefully some of these drivers, heavy contact, up into the air goes Nick Gardner. Heavy wreck, a big one here. Kevin Winker collected in it once again. Oh, baby, the big one here at Charlotte. That's Mark Beverly tied up in it. The 133 of Ashley Ellison Jr. also there. Heavy damage there for that 133 machine. Michael Madden looks like he may have gotten a piece of that as well. As another caution flag here on the evening, as a big one down the back straightaway. I'm not sure how this one got started, but it looked like potentially a little contact between the number 16 and 133 ride, as they were rolling right here in the 3rd and 4th position towards the front of the field. Ashley down on the bottom side, Nick Gardner up on the outside in the 16 Napa Auto Parts ride, and they both got a good run down the back straightaway, and looks like Nick maybe looking to try to make his way into the middle here on the 3 ride, and I think at the same time the 133 kind of doesn't really move up, but doesn't give him any room, which is definitely their right to do on the Speedway, as they're running in that lane and coming up a little bit right there at the same time as well. So a little bit of both battling for the same spot on the Speedway right there. Obviously, Nick comes down with that 131, also comes up just ever so slightly. They make contact, and then down the racetrack and into where this wall kind of angles out. Heavy contact for that 133. You see that 16 ride sliding sideways back up the racetrack. Haas Beverly nowhere to go. The 53 Hall's nowhere to go. The 318 in there, the 68 heavy damage. Here you go, you see where Kevin Winker gets clipped, and into this one the 4 ride's gonna clip him right there, as well as 16 and Nick Gardner still slides backwards. See the 53 up there in corner number 3 and 4. Heavy damage there again for him, as well as, man, a ton of carnage down this back straightaway. A lot of drivers absolutely getting shredded here. And unfortunately, we see a ton of cars exit this race because of this one. As look at the air that the 133 ride gets, and man, oh man, some heavy hits there for a lot of our competitors out here on the Speedway. This is going to take a little while for the NASCAR crews to kind of get them kind of figured out where they all are going to go again here. Let's see if we can jump on board with Ashley Ellison Jr. as we'll take a look here. Down out of quarter number 2, and the initial contact between this 133 and the 16 right there. And unfortunately, as they come together hard into this wall, back up the racetrack into the catch fence. My gosh, what a wild ride right there for that 133 machine. That was a scary looking wreck, a scary looking ride, and luckily enough, hopefully all these drivers are A-okay, and hopefully no one's injured. Hopefully everyone's going to be able to walk away from this one as bam! And then, oh man, another huge hit there. Nowhere to go. I do believe that was Mark Beverly, one of those first drivers to get into that number 133. Let's see if we get a look here from Mark Beverly's perspective in this one. Oh, man, that is a jump scare and a half for Mark Beverly. Wowzers. Woo! Baby! Oh, look out! She gone. That is a heck of a view right there from Mark Beverly. Just getting heavy dosage of that 133 ride as they come together down the bottom side. He comes in and helps that 133 up into the catch fence. A wild wreck here in the Metalheads Racing League, man. That is a wild one right there, and we are done. Yeah, we still got a few laps left to go here to finish this one off. And once again, this is what we talked about. If we can see a few caution flags, a lot more caution laps, it could potentially set this 0-0 ride of Nate Cogdale up for a big run here on the evening. We talked to him here before, a couple caution flags ago. He talked about not having fresh tires behind the wall. When he came down pit side with everybody else, he was only able to put fuel into this 0-0 ride, where a lot of the drivers back there behind him could have had fresh tires. Now, they haven't been able to use those fresh tires to get around him, as he's hit 2 perfect restarts and able to keep these drivers back there at bay. But does he have enough to get it done? Can he find himself a way into victory lane as we go back to green flag racing with about 5 laps left to go? So we went from a 15-lap shootout to a 10-lap shootout. 5-lap shootout for these drivers to kind of settle things out and see who's going to end up in victory lane and who is going to earn themselves the win here in race number 8 of the inaugural season of the Metalheads Racing League. Here this evening, as we will get them ready to rock and roll. We'll get ready to go back to battle. Out in front, Nate Cogdale looking for another perfect restart here on the evening with that 3-ride of Keith Prince. We saw Prince deeper in this field early in this race, kind of just settling in deeper in the pack, hanging out, and, outside the top 25 there for a little while. He started mid-pack, was able to work himself up inside the top 10, almost inside the top 5, and then we saw him go straight to the back of the pack. So maybe just try to save that set of tires here. Maybe he'll be the driver to use it to his advantage and maybe put himself up into victory lane. The 7 ride right there, Brett Sommers and David Traylor as well, looking to try to use their momentum here in this one. But another great restart out of that 0-0 ride is down through the Geico restart zone. He gets a great launch, leads us down through corner number 1 and out at corner number 2. Does Nate Cogdale have enough left in the tank to try to hold these drivers off, or do they find a way to get around this 0-0? Does he throw the blocks? Can he try to figure out a way to keep these drivers back to rep bay? But here comes the 54, the J.C. Newman Cigar Company, number 54, and David Traylor Jr. David is going to jump up and take this race lead away. Nate Cogdale down low. Caution flag back onto the speedway. It'll be interesting to see if they saw that flag fly before or after they cross that start-finish line, because it may be the 54 as the control car, and I do believe that's the way it's looking. So a heartbreaker right there for the 0-0 of Nate Cogdale. He needed to keep control of this car to really give himself any type of opportunity to try to pick up this win, but it's not over until it's over, as we will take a look and see what brings out another caution flag here on the evening. Looks like potentially Ashley Ellison going for a wild ride here again in the number 133 ride. Haas Beverly Schuyler as well in this one. So we'll take a look back here a little deeper in the field, as again, I'm not sure where this all stems from, but it looks like right here. 68 already damaged on the front end. That truck just gets turned sideways. Just looks like the rear end just steps out and around on it. Really no fault of his own here, as the 68 just all that front end damage, maybe getting a little bit of aero tightness right there, and just kind of drags that front end around. He's trying to counter steer, trying to get it pointed back in the right direction. Nowhere to go here for Michael Madden, as he's really got nowhere to go here. The Asphalt Outlaws 22 comes in, gets a piece of the 15 as well, and then we see some more contact in front of him, but a heavy hit right here for Haas Beverly up into the outside fence. Look at that truck just get absolutely destroyed. 68 going to get into him again there. More damage for that 68 machine, and we saw Jesse Calloway and Jimmy Fritz Maurice get tangled here as well. This is after the 4 ride kind of went around this, so he was right here with that 68 ride. 68 goes around the 4 machine, able to just avoid it here. I'm not sure if the 97 gets clipped by this or not. No, looks like the 88 gets loose almost at the exact same time. The 4 ride of Callaway gets in there, gets a piece of him, and that just drags him up into the outside fence there. And Heavy damage for the 88. Heavy damage for that 4 ride. Absolutely destroyed. 68 and 22. Haas Beverly, heavy damage there in that one. He's also going to back up into the 4 ride again there as well. And the 68 is going to go up into the outside fence. So a ton of carnage, a ton of damage down here through corner 3 and 4. And things got out of control in a quick hurry for a lot of these drivers. Haas Beverly, one of those drivers really just nowhere to go here in this one. As he gets into it, gets collected hard up into that outside fence, hard into the 68, the 4 ride, 88. That truck is absolutely tore to shreds. We will get them all ready to rock and roll and get ready to go back to green flag racing here. As out in front, David Traylor Jr. is our race leader. So Traylor is out in front here. He will have control on this restart. A heartbreaker there for Nate Cogdale, as he really needed to keep that control to try to see if he could get another good restart, hold him off for a lap or two, and trying to put himself up into victory lane. It's going to be a little bit more of a tall task now for that 0-0 ride with French tires up here in position number 2. He's going to have that 54. David Traylor be the control car. Will be able to fire first. And he did have a few of his teammates around him, but they have kind of fallen backwards now as Isaac Smallwood there in position number 3. Caleb Clinard there in position number 4 and looking for more. Michael Newman back there in the 5th spot. And we see Keith Prince there in position number 6. Matthew Catino rebounding nicely in that Majula Say Speed Shop number 318 now into the 7th position. Brett Summers back there in 8th. Dennis Steele there in 9th. And Colton Hardy rounding out our top 10. Kevin Winker in the 55 of Mark Beverly just outside our top 10 with Michael Madden, Skylar Berry, Nick Gardner, Clinton Woodby, Ashley Ellison Jr. Rounding out our top 17 here on the Speedways. Haas Beverly down pit side. Jesse Callaway off the Speedways there with the 88 of Jimmy Fritz Maurice. Bill Halls, I do believe, off the racetrack as well. Jacob Ellison still rolling out there on the Speedway in the 91. Right, unfortunately, went a few laps down there for himself. So we will go back to green flag racing. We got 16 trucks on the lead lap. 16 trucks still within striking distance and the possibility of picking up the win here this evening. Right now with a green-white checkered attempt underway here for the NASCAR trucks. It is going to be interesting to see. So all these drivers have to do is run 2 laps. This is my boy Bubba coming in, setting it off over there on the Twitch channel, coming in with 100 biddies. What is good? Bubba coming in, showing the big love here in this one. The 100 biddies says, let's go. Let's go, brother. Coming in, sending the big love here in this one. It's out in front. The 54 ride looking to try to pick up the win. My boy Jonathan Wiley coming in with the like on the stream. Kevin Demi coming in with the like on the Facebook stream as well, coming in showing the big love as the 54 of David Traylor going to see that green flag fly is down through the Geico restart zone. Our first attempt in NASCAR overtime here on the evening is the 54, and Traylor leads us down into corner number 1, nice and easy. Out of corner number 2, the 10 ride all over his back bumper. It's Isaac Smallwood looking to see if he can try and take this race lead away from that 54 ride. Nate Cogdale right there, still within striking distance in the 0-0, trying to hang on to a good run here as he's going to get split 3 wide, but then 196 up into the outside fence. He's going to get loose. He's going to go around down through the infield. The 7 ride collected in that one. Mark Beverly up into the air in the catch fence. No caution flag. We will race him back to the line. David Traylor out in front. Isaac Smallwood there in second. And we see Michael Newman back in third. Nate Cogdale there in fourth. But for the final time, down into corner number 3. Nice and easy at a corner number 4. A couple truck length lead. It is the 54 of David Traylor Jr. picking up the checkered flag here in the wonderful Metalheads Racing League as he's able to win round number 8 of their inaugural season. The 54 ride finding victory lane, staying safe, staying clean late in this one as we saw a lot of contact and a lot of carnage there across the start finish line as we saw the white flag fly things were getting a little bit more wild back here behind him as, man, things got out of control in a quick hurry. As we'll take a look here, the 196 ride rolling in the fourth position, looking to take over third, gets up in the outside fence, and then him in the 318 come together not once but twice, and then down through the infield. As they come together, you see the 7 ride right here. That is the Boston Web Marketing ride, trying to avoid the contact here, looking to split the middle, goes down through the infield. Unfortunately, still gets clipped from that 196, and that sends them both back up the racetrack. Clipping the 9 ride, clipping the 3 machine, and look at the 3 airborne, the 55 ride up on the catch fence, rolling it here. The 9 ride going airborne there, as well as a big wreck, a ton of carnage down here in corner number 1 after the white flag, and then kind of opened things up at the front of the field and allowed our race winner to kind of run away with this one, as this was a wild wreck right here. Let's take another look at this one. It's heavy hits, heavy contact, and a lot of tore up race trucks. Let's see if we can jump right up here with the 55 ride, as it's going to give us a great look at this one as we'll jump on board with the 55 of Mark Beverly with the helmet cam. Down through the triangle, white flag being displayed, sees a little contact there, rolls out of it, and nothing he can do except for hang on and hope for the best right there, and did not end up being the best for a lot of drivers there through corner number 1. Is picking up the win nonetheless is this 54 ride. David Traylor Jr. able to park himself up here into the Charlotte Motor Speedway victory lane. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up here for our race winner as he picks up the win in not dominant fashion, but pretty good fashion late in this race, being in the right place at the right time, able to make those late race moves and being able to put himself up here into victory lane, as we'll get ready to pull our top 3 up into the broadcast booth here for some post-race interviews. Hey, David, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. You get a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
David, man, what a wild run, what a wild race here in this one. A lot of late race caution flags, really mixing things up here, and now you're able to just make some moves, able to put yourself into the best position possible, and that was right there to the outside of the 00 ride on our second to last restart here, and you're able to kind of battle with them for that half a lap, but you were able to edge out in front of them just past the start-finish line before we saw the last caution flag of the evening, which gave you this race lead in that final attempt here, that green-white checkered. Able to start here in front of the rest of the field, able to use that jump to your advantage. You're able to open up a little bit of a lead, but you had a lot of pressure still on your back bumper, man. Take us back through it and how you got it done and how you put this 54 ride up here into victory lane.
Yeah, it was one of those races where I thought it was going to go one way and then it kind of went another. But overall, I can't complain about the result. When we had that last stage caution, I kind of planned on just fuel saving, trying to see if I could maybe mix up the strategy there, and then it just kind of became a wreck fest. Kind of just had to adjust on the fly. I knew a couple cars in front of me there on those late restarts had 2 tires and I had 4, so I could hold it a little better in the corners. But just kind of playing the hand I was dealt. It's kind of luck part goes into it a lot. Plenty of guys wrecked and did nothing wrong. So being in the right place at the right time kind of helped me do that.
Absolutely. Sometimes it's better to be a little lucky than good out there on the speedways. Luckily enough, you're able to avoid all the contact, all the carnage here in those closing laps, and pull yourself up here into the Charlotte Motor Speedway victory lane. David, who would you like to thank for such a great run and strong performance here this evening in capturing that victory?
Yeah, I want to thank my teammates, Bill, Isaac, Colton, and Clinton. Isaac had a pretty good run with me. Unfortunately, the others didn't have such great luck. Thanks to Nate for putting this league on. Amazing group of guys every Monday night. Thanks to you putting on a great broadcast here for us. Thanks to sponsor on the truck this week is JC Newman Cigar Company. Great partners of mine. And then thanks to my wife for letting me do this, and my dad watching at home.
Absolutely, brother. Well, David, congratulations on the great run, the great win here tonight in season number 1, week number 8, the round 8 race here for the Metalheads Racing League, man. A great run, a great drive here from you all evening long, and you park yourself up here in Victory Lane. Congratulations, and hopefully we'll see you back up here in Victory Lane here again, whether or not it's the HCK Beagle Series or if we end up doing another one of these races for you guys. But probably a one-off thing, as I got another league that I broadcast on Mondays. Luckily enough, being Labor Day, they were taking the night off, and you guys needed a broadcaster, and I was happy to fill that spot as you guys put on a heck of a show for us here tonight in this one.
Awesome. Thanks, Aaron.
Absolutely, brother. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
You as well.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our race winner, David Traylor Jr., as he picks up the win and pulls that 54 up into Victory Lane as we'll get ready to pull in our second place finisher, the 10 ride Isaac Smallwood, coming home here in position number 2. We'll pull Isaac up here into the broadcast booth here in Concord, North Carolina, as he comes home in that second spot, one spot shy of Victory Lane here, but gonna be pretty happy with probably the outcome of this one. Hey Isaac, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker broadcasting booth. You get a copy?
What's up, buddy?
Isaac, man, a bit of a wild run, a bit of a wild race, but late in this one, you're able to put yourself in the right place at the right time, avoid a lot of the carnage and contact there, and here you are late in this one in that green-white checkered, right on the back bumper of David Traylor, looking to try to maybe take this win away from him. Unfortunately, just couldn't quite get the run you needed there in those closing laps to try to, go door to door with him there or make the move to try to get around him.
Yeah, we were fortunate enough to get up there into a little bit of a strategy and a caution got us back towards the front. We were kind of mid-pack the entire race and really came alive there towards the end of the runs. But every time we get to the end of the run, a caution would come out and we get stuck about 8th in place. But we were fortunate enough to get up to the front there on a little strategy call, and we were able to stay up front.
Absolutely. Being able to stay up front, stay out of the contact and carnage here late in this race. Now, you were kind of right in the middle of it there. You got a little bit of a look here at a few of them there, and just trying to stay out of it there. How do you kind of keep yourself focused here late in a race, a long race like this one? Seeing a lot of those caution flags, things getting slowed down more and more and more here with the yellow laps, continuing to build up. How do you stay focused? How do you keep yourself, mentally in this race here for running those final closing laps?
Just we're chasing the checkered flag. We're not looking to be hooked up to the wrecker. We're trying to stay focused, stay clean, stay on the racetrack, and be there at the end to cross the start finish line, because you can't get no points on the record.
Absolutely. You gotta bring it home at least in one piece, or at least still in driving condition. You do a great job of that here this evening as you come up one spot shy of Victory Lane here. A great run and a great performance here from you tonight, Isaac. Who would you like to thank for a great drive here in this one?
Yeah, I'd like to thank the guys over at White Knuckle. They kind of took me in with open arms, and we were able to work on some strategies. And me and David, we had a good run. Just the other teammates, they didn't have such a good run as we did. I know we were all looking pretty good there, and then one of them got caught in a wreck, and then so on and so forth. But I'd like to thank them guys for the good run, and you putting on this awesome broadcast, and Nate putting on this awesome league. Really enjoy running here. So I think that's about it.
Absolutely. Well, Isaac, a great run, a great drive here for you tonight. Hopefully a little bit of momentum builder, and hopefully more and more trips up here into the broadcast booth, and hopefully a couple more trips here before the end of the season into Victory Lane yourself.
Yeah, I sure hope so. We're going to keep this momentum rolling, and we're going to keep hoping for some checkered flags.
Beauty. Isaac, congratulations again on the second place run, and enjoy the rest of your evening.
You too. Thank you.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our second place finisher, our second place driver here on the evening, Isaac Smallwood, coming home there in position number 2 as we'll pull in our third place finisher here on the evening, the number 12, Michael Newman. We'll pull Newman up here into the broadcast booth. Hey, Michael, it's Aaron up here on the Peacemaker broadcasting booth. You get a copy?
Yes, sir.
Michael, man, a bit of a Dodge car effect there late in this one. A lot of contact, a lot of carnage, but you're able to keep yourself out of trouble and come home with a solid podium run here after a pretty strong evening, man. We saw you up inside the top 5, top 10, battling hard all evening long, and just being in the right place, the right time, late in this one, being able to just narrowly stay in front of some of that carnage and work yourself through some of it here late in this one to come home and cap off a very strong run and a very strong race here for yourself at Charlotte.
Yeah, definitely a lot better than what I thought it was going to be coming into the night. Normally, I struggle here, especially with the long run. But I don't know if I was just able to hook the white line down on the bottom. As long as I could get my left tires right on the paint, it would just turn so smoothly, and I'd get such a good launch off corner exit. Thought I was kind of screwed there around like lap 95 when a caution came out in the middle of green flag stops, but ended up having things work out with some of those fortunate cautions.
Absolutely, having things work out, being in the right place at the right time, puts yourself up here onto the podium. Michael, congratulations on the great run, the great performance here this evening. Who would you like to thank for a great drive here at Charlotte Motor Speedway?
Yeah, thank you for Nate for putting this league on for all of us. Teammates, Nick Gardner, Brett Sommers, Dennis Steele, Nick and I really worked well together throughout today, and we were just trying to be as patient as we could. All the league sponsors, and then my girlfriend for just putting up with me every single week while we do this.
Absolutely, brother. Well, congratulations on the third place run. Unfortunately, I won't be back up here in the booth for very many of these races, but I hope that, a little bit of a momentum builder here for yourself, and hopefully more and more trips up into the broadcast booth for the 12 ride, and maybe, more and more trips up into victory lane yourself.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it, and hopefully this will give us some momentum going forward.
Absolutely, brother. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and congratulations again on the third place run.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our third place finisher, Michael Newman. As Newman coming home there in position number 3, a great run and a solid drive out of that number 12 machine. Unfortunately, that is going to do it for us here on the evening as the racing has come to a close here on the racetrack, and that means at the end of the evening for us up here in the broadcast booth. A huge shout out to all these drivers putting on a great run, a great show for us from the drop of the green flag down to the checkered flag. Man, we saw these guys battle and duke it out for 152, 53 laps, something like that, officially across the line there as we went to NASCAR overtime. They say, you know what, 150 laps isn't enough. We need to add on a few extra there towards the end, and we got to see some magic there. As a lot of contact, a lot of flying. We saw a few drivers up into the catch fence, some drivers flying through the sky there, and, somehow or another, we saw a lot of drivers able to avoid it and come home with some pretty solid runs. When you look through the rest of our top 5, Nate Cogdale, we talked to him before a few of those caution flags, talked to him about, having, no fresh tires on that car, where there was a lot of drivers back there behind him that did have those fresh tires. He thought he was going to be a set and duck. Unfortunately, wasn't able to hang on to the race win, but able to come home with a very solid top 4 run for Nate Cogdale in that 0-0 ride. And Michael Madden as well. Madden battling back from being a lap or 2 down there, able to rebound and stay out of the carnage up inside the top 5. And then we see Kevin Winker up there as well. Winker got tied up in a few of those late race caution flags, had a ton of damage on that 42 ride. Still able to come home in P6. Keith Prince we saw up and down throughout the day, coming home there in 7th. Nick Gardner bringing it home still in 8th after his late race issues there, getting tied up. It turned around. He was airborne. He was flying through the sky there as well for the 16 ride, still being able to bring it home in 8th. And then Skylar Berry tore up all evening long here, at least for most of these closing laps, and the 68 ride missing a lot of body panels if they're on the racetrack, bringing it home in 9th with a solid top 10 run. And Clint Woodby as well. We saw Clint get tied up early in this race. A heavy hit, heavy damage for him. He was down pit side for an extended period of time. He was a few laps down and able to just kind of keep on plugging away at it, clicking away at it, and able to get himself back onto the lead lap and bring it home with a top 10 there with all the contacting carnage in that closing lap. He's able to come home top 10. So some great storylines throughout the field here as the Metalheads Racing League put on a great show and a great race here for us all evening long. A huge shout out to them for bringing me on board for the evening. As I said, we didn't have anything going on. It was Labor Day. Our other league for the Monday Night All-Stars, we're taking the evening off. We were kind of open. We were kind of free. I had a couple plans, but the boys, they messaged me. They wanted me to jump in here and broadcast this race for them. I was a little reluctant. I didn't want to kind of skip out on some of the plans that I had, but you know what? End of the day, we want to put this content out for all the viewers, everyone tuning in and watching, man. We want to continue to put the content out more and more and more, and every chance we can get to be up here in the broadcast booth and put on some amazing racing for you is definitely something that we're going to do. So we decided to skip out on the plans and jump up here into the booth and put on a great show for all the fans in the stands here this evening. And I can't thank you guys enough for tuning in. Everyone coming in with the likes, the comments, the shares, any of the new followers, any of the new subscribers. I can't thank you guys enough, and I welcome every new follower, every new subscriber to the Peacemaker family here this evening. And if you haven't already, if you haven't hit that like button, if you haven't hit that share button, you can do it still right now. Even if this race is already over, you can do it after the race if you're rewatching it. Make sure you hit that like and share button, and definitely make sure you hit that subscribe button or that follow button over on Facebook and Twitch. Become part of the Peacemaker family here today. And if you don't want to miss any of the racing action that we put on here, is an almost nightly live broadcast here of tons of different racing on iRacing here in the broadcast booth. Make sure you turn those bell notifications on. That way you never miss it when we go live here on Peacemaker Gaming. But listen, thank y'all for tuning in. I can't wait to see you guys back here tomorrow night as we will go back to Green Flag Racing for the HCK Beagles Truck Series tomorrow evening, where we'll see quite a few of these same drivers in attendance. A lot of these drivers back out there and battling for tomorrow night's truck race as well. So if you want to watch some of your favorite drivers here from the Metalheads Racing League through tonight, you want to see them back out there on the racetrack tomorrow evening as well, make sure you guys click that gosh heckin' subscribe button and that follow button, as they'll be back here tomorrow night. At least a lot of these drivers will be in attendance for the HCK Beagles tomorrow evening. But listen, thank y'all for tuning in. Catch y'all on the next one. Peace out for now, baby. Peace out for now, ladies and gentlemen.